This is Denari Gift Segmenter Training Part 4. In this session we are discussing the output options from Gift Segmenter. Under the description field here we have the output type field, and as you can see we have count as one of our output options. Count is just going to give you a file in your inbox that shows you the number of gifts that are in the output, and sometimes that's helpful if you're experimenting with a gift segment and trying to determine exactly what you expect to get, that kind of thing. So count can be useful. It's a little bit quicker to run. But then we also have what I call spreadsheet type outputs, Excel of course, and then tab delimited, comma separated values, and sometimes you need files in those formats for various reasons, but most of the time you're going to use Excel. Excel is going to give you the ability to output the gifts and then manipulate that Excel spreadsheet even further if you need to for various reasons. Now, when we hit save, Denari is going to expand a little bit here and give us these output field checkboxes. And what this does is it allows us to control to some degree the size of our spreadsheet. So over in Name Segmenter, you remember we just got this big old large spreadsheet that was sometimes a little bit more information than we really need. Here, Gift Segmenter gives us the ability to kind of control what goes in the output by controlling groups of information that will be in that output. For example, we can check the box here that says donor basic information, and what that means is we're going to get the donor's name, their street address, the city, state, and zip, phone number, those kinds of things in the output. Over here, when we check gift basic information, we're going to get the gift amount, the gift date, and gift type, and so forth. And then over here, if we wanted to, we could check gift fund information. So now we're going to get the fund code and the department and all the things that are associated with that. Gift appeal will give us the appeal code and the campaign and that kind of information and so forth. And rather than going through all these, I'll just let you experiment. And most of these are pretty self-descriptive, and you'll be able to figure out what actually gets added to the spreadsheet when you check these boxes. But there are a couple I want to point out. One is the pledge stats checkbox here. When you check that box, you're going to get the pledge statistics that are related to the gift in the output. So for example, if somebody gave a gift that was a pledge gift or was given in fulfillment of a pledge, this checkbox will add information like the pledge amount, the frequency, the payment amount, and so forth. So it'll give you whether they're ahead, behind in the pledge, and those kinds of things. So you'll get pledge statistics there related to each gift. For those of you who are using sponsorship, there are a couple sponsorship fields here. One is this special sponsorship log field. Those are really the birthday gifts and the Christmas gifts, the special gifts information, so you can get that from Gift Segmenter. And then also this sponsorship field will add to this things like the child's name that's being sponsored and other sponsorship information. So again, this just simply allows us to control what goes into the output from Excel. Now remember, it's important to keep in mind that Gift Segmenter outputs a list of gifts. So for example, if John Doe gave 10 times, John Doe is going to show up 10 times in the output, once for each of his 10 gifts. This does not summarize gifts together. There is a tool that we're going to look at in a later session that does that, called Gift Summary. So in Gift Summary, if John Doe gave 10 times, you're only going to see John Doe on the list once with a summary of his giving. But the purpose of Gift Segmenter gives you the list of gifts. Now, one of the big advantages of Gift Segmenter is that it can be linked to other reports. So for example, let's take a look at the detailed gift listing report found on the Gifts tab. There's actually two of them here, the gift detail and a detailed gift listing. They're two different formats. This one, the detailed gift listing, is the PDF format. And so let's just go ahead and click on that one. They actually both do the same thing, just slightly different technologies and outputs. Now, the standard detailed gift listing report gives us the ability to filter by date, either a relative or a hard starting and ending date, by batch, by amount, by the donor account number, and by fund code. And if those filters work for the report that you need, that's terrific. But sometimes you need more than that. For example, let's say we want to get a listing of all the people who gave to a certain appeal code last month. Well, we can see that appeal code is not an option here on this form. So we need to go then to the gift segment. And so we can go and create that gift segment ahead of time that finds us all the gifts that were given to the appeal code in that date range, link it to this report, and then run report. So we've really extended the capability of this report. And by the way, this is also going to give you a detailed list, just like the Excel spreadsheet did from Excel, except that this is in PDF format, which sometimes makes it a little easier to mail and so forth, and it includes the name and address and those kinds of things. So it can be a very helpful report. In fact, a lot of people use this report. But the beauty is we now have all of those fields that we have in Gift Segmenter to be able to filter on to get this report. And just a tip here, anytime you use the gift segment as a filter in this report or any of the reports, put all of your filter information into the gift segment. For example, don't put the appeal code in the gift segment and then use the relative date range here of last month. It just works a little bit better if everything's in the gift segment. And so what happens when you run this is Denari goes and runs the gift segment, finds those gifts, and then kind of pulls those into this format of the detailed gift listing. And on this page, this gifts tab here, you'll see a number of reports that do the same thing. They extend the filter capabilities of those reports by allowing you to filter by a gift segment. And again, I'll let you kind of experiment with some of those. Let's go back and look at the name segment. I'm going to click on the Donors tab and then Name Segmenter. And I'm just going to pick one here just in the interest of time. This is a large page, taking a few minutes to load, or a few seconds to load. Okay, now under the Classes In button here, we have this gift segment field. So what this does is exactly the same thing as with the detailed gift listing report. It extends the capability of the name segment to allow us to filter on gift characteristics. So let's say, for example, we want to do a mailing to all those people who gave to that appeal code in that date range. Well, again, obviously appeal code is not here as an option, neither is gift date for that matter. But we can go create that gift segment that identifies all those gifts and then use that as a filter option here in Name Segmenter. But remember, Name Segmenter is always going to output names. Just because you select a gift segment as a filter doesn't mean that Denari is then going to put gift information in the Name Segmenter output. So you're still going to get names. It's just using this gift segment to filter to get those names. So now we could do this mailing to those people who gave to that appeal code. Or whatever we need to do with those names. But again, the point is that we're just going to get that list of names. Later on, we're going to look at some more uses here for gift segmenter with name segmenter, but for the time being, I think that's a good place to stop. That concludes our discussion of name segmenter at this point, and we're going to move on to name segmenter in the next session.